Okay, we are on our last quiz now, 514. So do you like to get your point across, maybe with as little words as possible, and to simplify sentences? Then this idea of antecedents are for you. So what are they exactly? What the heck am I talking about? Antecedent is when you can replace nouns with a pronoun. Okay. So it is the practice of replacing other nouns with pronouns. What do I mean by that? Here's an example. Jeremy arrived late because traffic held him up. We know who this him is. We know who he is because his name is in there already. So we're able to say Jeremy arrived late because traffic held him up instead of having to repeat his name again. Jeremy arrived late because traffic held Jeremy up. Okay. You're like, duh. I know we often do this naturally as native English language speakers, but there's a lot of folks who are not native English speakers. And so let's review. What's a noun? A noun is a person, a place, a thing. So you could have a surfer is a noun. Forest is a place, or school. It's a thing. It's also a place. Proper nouns, that's when they get capitalized. So this is a person's name, the actual name of the forest, the name of the school. They can also be plural or singular. So that means you could have one dog or you could have two dogs, more than one dog. Some examples of pronouns: she and he, we, they, them, it. So these are all words that we can use in replace of a name. It's often a name. To be more specific, yes, it's a noun, but it's often a proper noun. So let's look at some examples. Mr. Hirsch told Kiana and Skylar to clean up Kiana and Skylar's bedrooms. That sounds a little wordy. Let's break it down. Mr. Hirsch told Kiana and Skylar to clean up their bedrooms. That has a better flow to it. You could even take it another step if you know who Kiana and Skylar are, to say Mr. Hirsch told them to clean up their bedrooms. So it just sounds a little more simplified when we use an antecedent. When we add a pronoun, so after we've dropped somebody's name, we can use a pronoun. All right, let's try this one. Mrs. Leggett worked in Mrs. Leggett's garden. Here's your practice. So click on this slide. What word could we use instead of repeating Mrs. Leggett? Okay, so we can say Mrs. Leggett worked in her garden. Very nice, very nice. Yes. Let's try one more. Kiara and Daryl took Daryl's car to the concert. So can we replace Daryl here? Or you could even replace Kiara and Daryl. So let's pretend we were already talking about them and you know who these people are. You could even replace these two names. So this particular example has multiple ways that we can do this. So you can simplify it a lot if you assume that you've already discussed who Kiara and Daryl are. Yeah. So you could rewrite it. Yes, Kiara and Daryl took his car to the concert. You could even say they took his car to the concert. If you want to take it and simplify it as much as possible, you could say they took his car there. But that's only if you've already established that is what you're talking about. That's where the antecedent parts come in. So let's bring this up one more time. That possessive nouns, they show ownership or belonging. A lot of the examples that we were working with were actually possessive pronouns. So some examples are like my, mine, your, yours, her, his. are, ours, their, theirs, its. Notice this its is not a contraction, so we don't use that apostrophe. None of these have an apostrophe. But we get into Juanita's book got wet in the rain. So how can we say this and simplify it? Let's assume we've already been talking about the book and Juanita. We could say that her book got wet in the rain. Let's look at some more examples. The book that belongs to me got left on the table. That's wordy. You could say my book got left on the table. And the last example we'll look at. The keys that belong to you were in the purse that belongs to you. Yeah, we don't talk like that, do we? No, we would say, your keys are in your purse, Mom. Maybe that was just my house growing up. So that's one more slide of all of them together. Let's try to practice now. So if you click on the slide, you should be able to choose an option. I believe I did like an ABC thing. So which way would you write this sentence? The dog lost the collar that belongs to the dog. How can we shorten that? The dog lost the collar that belongs to the dog. Yeah, we could say the dog lost its collar. You're right that it's the dog lost its collar, but it would actually be B because this it means it is. So the dog lost its collar. I still get tripped up on that one. When I write something, I have to like re-say it in my head. So the dog lost its collar. Next, the students ate the lunches that belonged to the students. So you should have some options if you click on this one. How can we simplify this sentence? The students ate the lunches that belonged to the students. Yeah, the students ate their lunch. I think that was the only option. I did a really good job making these practice ones. The students ate their lunch. And the last one. The book belongs to you. The book belongs to you. Yeah, it's my book. You could say it's my book. So if somebody is talking to you, you would respond, oh, that's my book. Or if you want to keep that you perspective, you could say the book is yours. Either way. It depends on the situation. But notice that none of them have an apostrophe with this particular possessive. It can get confusing. Yes. This is the biggie, the its. I want you to remember this one. So this is antecedents, and it's basically the practice of taking out names so that you can simplify a sentence and use a pronoun. So you take out a name and you use a possessive pronoun or you use a pronoun. That's basically what we're doing. Here's some puns. So big shout out to my fingers. I can always count on them. And my last pun for the day, or just my last little joke, is that November 1st is basically National Eat Your Kids Halloween Candy after they go to bed. It's true. I definitely do a Halloween tax. Okay, so work time. Go ahead, take 514. Get any missing work that's due. And then if you have time, do the unit final, or you can wait until Monday. But if you do it now, then it may give you more time. If you want to retake it next week, you can retake it to increase your points. Okay. There you go.